you're ready, look, one thing is obviously that the US plays a big three-man game in the world using its defense budget, economic. This is a very big game, and do this game layer by layer, understanding what is happening on the ground today. But as investors, where can we look for a better opportunity for ourselves, which is also less risky? And if the growth percentage of that instrument is seen in the last 4 to 5 years. In these terms of CAGR, you also saw that in double digits. So this video is going to have a very educational purpose, very beneficial, very enjoyable. Hope is expectation. Hope you see it till the end. First of all, you talk about this defense setup of America, where it strengthens other countries of the world. Did you know that the US designs its budget to control the defense market, not just for its military, but for the entire world? Yes, that means other countries of the world make defense budgets here only for their defense requirements. At the same time, America is to control the whole world, and it also has a stake in it. We will try to understand that by using Jessa Gal. America makes its own defense budget. The US defense budget is not just a military strategy, but an economic and geopolitical maneuver. There is a tool. Using this budget, the US forces other countries to buy its own defense equipment. But how did all this happen? And what is the impact on the global economy? Let us try to understand this story layer by layer in a slightly simplified way, as much as the story has come to me by understanding the events taking place in the present performance. First of all, look at the defense budget of USA and try to understand its influence on the global economy. The United States is the world's largest defense spender, spending $100 billion a year on its military. But this budget is not only for security, but also as an economic and diplomatic weapon used by the US. America pressures its allies, creates pressure that it does not buy weapons and defense systems from any other country, as you may have seen in recent developments. If you look at the NATO alliance in the NATO nations or the Asia-Pacific region, there is pressure on the Asia-Pacific alliance to remain dependent only on America and not to adopt Russian or Chinese defense tech, even if they want to. And for this, there are many theories in the world, and many times because they are compromising, then they do not have that credibility regarding their defense requirements. For example, have you ever heard of it or ever in your mind? Is India buying its defense equipment from China? Because China is complementing India in its neighborhood, it helps Pakistan in carrying out other types of developments. America also does some of this work, but India can sit more safely in America. If not on China, then on the NATO alliance or the Asia-Pacific region. You must have seen that America's pressure works in absolute continuity, where it makes other countries so that the other country can never build trust in its neighbors. Such situations are created. If we talk about the example of Europe, then take a liturgical reform of Europe, where they have advanced the military spending program of 800 billion euros in the direction of being dependent on large American defense firms. But it's not just a geopolitical game, it's also an economic one. What is the game related to economics? If you want to understand the US market, if you want to understand the defense giant, then understand it. This is how the US counters other countries globally with its corporations like Rocket Lab or RTX Corporation. Why do we engage with them?
First of all, we try to understand it like America's Rocket Lab satellite warfare, which is expected in the future that now the battle will take place only by going into space, then satellite warfare or space.
Rocket Lab USA organization.
A big one. Player. It's them. This particular. They have expertise in this particular technology in the field. And because of this, other countries of the world become on them if there is a fight over it ever. So we don't stay behind. Look at the US and NATO equation. The satellite technology of Rocket Lab is marketed to tackle space-based threats from China and Russia. So to some extent, America wants it. If this type of competition can be created in the market, then America relaxes there. That's okay. China is doing this work. We will not interfere there, because if China says something like this, its market will be open to the US, and if it wants to counter it, then buy it from us. Another US company is GE Aerospace. They have advanced military jet engines, and the engines that are equivalent to these advanced military jet engines are not being made in other countries of the world. In the middle, Germany had tried, but America also put pressure on it and followed them in this matter. Then the American F-414 engine, They are not hidden from anyone.
The Super Hornets are part of the craft that are the main assets of the air forces of countries like the US, Australia, and India. The US-sourced T-901 engine forms the base for these Apache attack helicopters and makes heavy use of the USA and NATO ALISA.
So why do we need these tools? Because the circumstances are such we cannot turn away. If this is a practical reality, nothing can be done overnight. India should turn its back on America and move towards self-reliance for itself. The rest of the world will slowly change times. If we look at India, South Korea, and European nations, then Zero, which is Gen's aerospace, this is heavily dependent on jet engines. If we talk about aerospace, then this future-centric ordnance for drone warfare is considered to be drone warfare or top company in autonomous weapon systems.
Similarly, the Switch is only 300 or 600 chemisizer drones if you look at them. Then there are self-disrupting drones, which are used against Russia in the Ukraine war if we talk about the pump surveillance drones, which are a very important asset for battlefield or border security surveillance. The bottom line is that the company has a lot of US companies whose list will not end. And if you think that America continues to lead in the defense race in the next 5 to 10 years, if the leadership maintains its position. So if we study from the point of view of being an investor in the defense sector of USA.
So, what would be wrong? What would be wrong? Absolutely not. And that is why in this entire defense system in which we have talked about the leading company in the world, which is an American-based company, if there is someone like that somewhere in all these companies, GISCO can plan their partial investment in all these companies by using instruments as a support. So I will try to tell you about ATF, which invests in all these proven companies in America. First, to understand the connection between military spending and the economy. Military spending is not just a security issue. As you understand, economic growth is also a very big factor. When a country increases its military budget, new industries develop, like AI became, or quantum computing became, or robotics became.
So economists openly believe that military spending can boost Europe's GDP by 1.5%, and it is absolutely necessary for India. Because one side is Pakistan, the other side is China. If you look at the historical data, you will find that whenever the USA or Europe reduce their military spending, there is an economic slowdown. So if Trump is currently saying that he will end the Russia-Ukraine war, are we seeing a slowdown? So the entire expenditure of America, which is water, which is logistics, is based on the fact that the world continues to fight. There is unrest in the world, and by supplying them, they continue to increase their treasury, which they own. Understand the tension between Taiwan and China, the role of USA there too. Taiwan's President Lai Ching-tai had decided to bring back the military courts against the Chinese opponents. And if you understand China's viewpoint, then China keeps trying to destabilize Taiwan because they're...
Eddie, the world's largest semiconductor and similar industries already exist. Well, there can be a lot of things, but the bottom line is that you must have understood how America wants to maintain its leadership in defense. And in such a situation, an ETF of USA, SPDRSP, Aerospace and Defense ETF can be a great ETF because it invests in USA, key top defense company. Growth in the last 5 years has been over 100%. Looking at the KGR term, 12 to 15% KGR growth has been seen very easily achieved through this CTF, as it includes major players like Rocket Lab, USAG, E Aerospace, Aero RTX Corporation. If you look at XARTF for the last 1 year, then this return percentage turns out to be more than 28%. So if you want to understand long-term growth and geopolitical trends, then the defense sector can be a strong investment option, provided you understand it by studying it well and only. Not your country, not only India, but also from the point of diversification. If you understand that, yes, we know in which case our country is lagging and it will take us time to complete it. But if we look for opportunities by making good use of this time in the economy of those countries or investing in that particular sector of those countries, then I don't think this is a wrong thinking. Because you will earn in dollars, but you will probably spend in the currency of your country, which will boost the economy of your country, and late in the morning if the fundamentals are correct. And technically, you have the defense stocks of your own country at a good level, at a good interlocking value.
So hope this was a short video, but the essence was to look for opportunity in that tension in the world. The veterans of the country are trying in their own way to worry the country of the world. All we can do at a small level is not to mess around. Follow the social rules.
And if you have to grab the opportunity, then raise your mind a little bit more so that we came up with only 1 or 2 equities with narrowed thinking. Shouldn't you be stuck in 2 asset classes? So open your mind and brain to the doors of your knowledge. We want to understand the market directly with us, but we will meet in the description. It was a small video, but America's defense sector hopes you will have understood very well and your knowledge will have increased a little. For now, keep this much in this video. Take care of yourself and your portfolios. We will meet you in the next video very soon. Thank you very much.